Hi guys, so I'm feeling super duper ill today, but I did not want to miss a day of Vlogmas, and I have been enjoying Alicia over at Ex Libris and Nicola over at Robotnik's sort of book collection videos, which are off camera, and they basically just show you all of the books they own in one collection. So I thought I could film this kind of video without having to get out of my pyjamas or put makeup on. So I hope you enjoy this video. These are all of my Penguin modern classics, some of which I've read, some of which I haven't. So let's go through them, shall we? I don't own any of the silver editions of the Penguin modern classics, which are the older editions, which is fine by me because I don't really like them, but I love these ones. So the first I have is Vladimir Nabokov's The Enchanter, and this is slightly different from the rest of them, as the Penguin modern classics have a special line for Vladimir Nabokov's books, all of which have lovely matching illustrations like this one. This is the only Vladimir Nabokov book I have read. It is sort of like a precursor to Lolita, at least it's on the same theme. It's also on paedophilia. The stories aren't related to one another, but it was kind of his practice run for Lolita. I thought it was really interesting and well written. Don't know if I will go on to read Lolita, however. Next is Bonjour Tristesse by Francois Sagan. I didn't particularly enjoy this novella. It is in two halves, and it's about basically a spoiled rich girl whose father has found a new girlfriend who she doesn't like. Started off very interesting and quite fun to read. It just kind of got irritating by the end, unfortunately. Next is Patrick Süskind's Perfume, which I'm sure you've probably heard of. It's about a man who wants to capture the perfect scent by murdering young women, and this has been turned into a film. I haven't seen the film or read the book yet, but I'm sure I'm going to love the book, so I can't wait to get around to reading this one. I then have Italo Calvino's The Complete Cosmicomics. I read another Italo Calvino book years ago, which was his Italian folktales, and absolutely adored it. It's one of my favourite books of all time, so I remember picking this one up one time, but still haven't read it. Hopefully I will soon though, since I enjoyed his other work so much. I then have Patrick Hamilton's Hangover Square. This is actually a bit of a hand-me-down from my mum. One of our really good friends, Linda, really likes Patrick Hamilton and got my mum to read Patrick Hamilton. She, on the other hand, wasn't crazy about this book, so passed it over to me, and so I guess it's my turn now to see how I feel, whether I will be on the side of Linda or my mum. But it's set in London in 1939, and I think it's a bit of a dark comedy about real life. I then have The Driver's Seat by Muriel Spark. I've read one other Muriel Spark book, which is The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. This one won a special Man Booker Prize award one year and was sent to me by the people over at the Man Booker. And although I haven't read it yet, I am really looking forward to it. It is very short and it's meant to be very good. Then we have the first of my Shirley Jackson collection. I own one other Shirley Jackson book, which is in a different edition, but these are the ones I own in the Penguin Modern Classics. The first is The Haunting of Hill House, which I have read and really enjoyed. It was my first Shirley Jackson book. I slightly preferred We Have Always Lived in the Castle, but I think purely the thing that I didn't enjoy as much in this one was the ending. I still think it's a really fun kind of 1950s mystery horror-esque story about a young woman who becomes part of an experiment which involves people living in a house in the hopes of experiencing supernatural activity. I then have Hangs a Man, which I haven't read and is based on a true story, I believe, about the kidnapping or the killing of a young college student. Hold this one because they're not standing up anymore. But I then have The Road Through the Wall. Again, I haven't read this one. I went through a phase at one point of pretty much picking up all of the Shirley Jackson books, and I've still only read 3 of them. But hopefully I will get to more of her books soon. I then have The Lottery and Other Stories, which I've read about half of. I'm not crazy about Shirley Jackson's short stories. I far prefer her novels from what I've read so far. I do really enjoy The Lottery, which is the title story, but some of the other ones I found quite disappointing. I then have The Sundial, which I have started and intend to finish soon. This one is about a family who believe the apocalypse has happened and are all kind of locked themselves inside their house. And I've heard this one's kind of got a bit of a comical aspect in that it's just so absurd, and I was enjoying the beginning of it, so hopefully I enjoy the rest of it. I then have Azar Nafisi's Reading Lolita in Tehran. Now this one's a non-fiction modern classic. I have 2 non-fiction modern classics. And this is the story of this Iranian woman who starts up a book club of books that aren't really supposed to be read by women in Iran. And yeah, it sounds fascinating and I can't wait to read it. My next non-fiction one is the autobiography of Malcolm X, which I haven't read yet, but I don't know why, because I really want to read this. I believe you all know who Malcolm X is, so I won't talk any more about that. Last but not least is There Once Lived a Woman Who Tried to Kill Her Neighbour's Baby, Scary Fairy Tales by Ludmila Petrushkaya, which I have read. I read this very recently and really enjoyed it. They're kind of creepy fantastical stories, mainly set in the 1900s in Russia, and they very much reminded me of the short stories of Roald Dahl. I really like this book, and there are 2 others in the series, so I'll definitely be picking those up soon. So those are all of my Penguin Modern Classics. Do let me know if you enjoyed this video and I can do more of them in the future. I do have a ton of Oxford World Classics which might be suitable, as well as Penguin Black Classics and Vintage Red Spine editions. I mean, I've got a lot of collections, so if you'd like to see any of them, then please let me know. And until next time guys, happy reading. I'll see you all again soon. Bye!